Hello everybody, Nismo D21 here from the new Nismo D21 Command Center. Actually I lied. This is not a command center at all. This is just my music studio slash office that I've kind of decorated a little bit to try and make it a little more festive. While I bring you guys updates from inside so I don't have to stand out in the snow and the cold and the wind and the rain when I don't really feel like it. I'm not really a guy for doing things in the cold or just standing around in the cold, at least. I don't mind doing some work in the cold, visiting a junkyard or two. I've done that in the past. But, stuff like this, I would just like to be inside where it's warm, where I have a dog sitting next to me that's, kind of moral support and everything. Today is Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving everybody. I know this video is probably going to drop late because it's got to go through the processing of, YouTube's processing. Then I seem to always have to hit the request review for monetization on all these videos because their algorithm is kind of, learning. Let's just say it's learning. Anyways, this is a music studio that I put together a bunch of years ago, where a lot of the music that you see, how about music that you hear, is actually on some of the videos that I've posted in the past. I don't use, with the exception of one video, I don't use anybody else's music. I've used all my original stuff. And this is where I've produced it using musical gear that I've purchased over the last 30 years. So in here is where it all happens. I figured that I would make it a double use kind of thing by making it a little decorative and sitting down and just talking to you guys, answering questions, responding to comments, talking about the projects, thoughts on projects. It's just nice to be able to sit down and do something like once a week and drop a video for you guys so you don't think that the channel's gone silent, because the only thing that I'm working on this winter is the red truck for now, and I only get to the red truck once every 2 weeks. It's just how me and my friends get together and do things. It's every other weekend we're down there, and I only have a 6-hour span to work on red truck. So I try to pack as much stuff in there as possible, but I don't want to bore you guys with undoing every nut and bolt. I've seen some how-to videos which are just absolutely amazing, and I don't really need to reinvent the wheel with those. There's some great how-tos out there, but there's also some information out there that is wrong or just not out there at all. And so what I figured my how-to videos and my build videos are kind of like a complement to the factory service manual. So if you got the factory service manual open and you're looking at the diagram of how something breaks down, my video should be able to go side by side with that and show you that, hey, you may get hung up here. Hey, this might break. This might not be entirely visible to you, so be on the lookout for such and such. That's kind of what my videos are, besides capturing all the fun of breaking stuff and, losing stuff, making things new. I love making things new. Anyways, current status of the red truck is a big apology for taking so long to get those torsion bars out. As I was just saying, I have 6 hours every 2 weeks to be able to work on this thing, and I don't really work all 6 hours because I work with a bunch of friends and we're all working on different projects. So I might be off helping, my buddy Steve with his truck. I might be helping my buddy Justin with his projects. And then recently, our friend Brian started hanging out with us, so he has projects that, we all kind of work around the shop. So for 6 hours, it's just working around the shop. I try to stay as focused as I can on the task at hand. So when I went there last weekend, I said, you know what, the right side torsion bar has got to come out of this truck. Torsion bar out or bust. So that's what I focused on. And This is, if you figure that every nut and bolt associated with that was frozen, rusty, stuck, that would make for a very long video. It'd be like a 4-hour video of me fighting 1 or 2 bolts the whole time. So what I do is I highlight stuff, and then I say, yeah, I got hung up on here. You're probably going to get hung up on here too. So if they're all this, all alike, and there's 1 drop of rust here, you may encounter X. So I apologize that it took 3 videos to get two torsion bars out of 1 truck. But it's done. The torsion bars are out. The only thing I have left to do before I start rebuilding everything is get those 2 lower control arm bushings burned out. And that's going to be a fun video because I'm probably going to have a lot of fire. I might even catch the whole truck on fire. Who knows? Or I may wuss out and just drill them out like I did on the green truck, just out of fear of catching something on fire. Who knows? It all depends on how shall I say this without getting more demonetized? Manly? I don't know. I have no idea. We'll figure that I'm going to sit there I'm going to stare at it for a good 30 minutes before I even turn the first bolt on. It's usually how I do it when I get there, because I got to refamiliarize myself with what I did last time, because it's 2 weeks between now and then. So I have to do that and figure out the game plan. And so that's the next phase, is lower control arm bushings both sides. Once they're out and the shells are cleaned out, I can just slap the new bushings in right then and there. That's going to be easy, and you guys are going to just love how easy that is to do. And I'll be pleased as punch to have something actually being reinstalled into the truck, as opposed to me just ripping stuff out. As it is right now, there is no front suspension on that truck at all. There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing there. What I have is a big mess of parts that need to be reconditioned, cleaned up, sandblasted, painted, rust-proofed, greased. Nuts and bolts need to be replaced. So, yeah, I'm going to have to weed through that. And I have a box downstairs of just all the stuff that I took off of that truck that I went through, sorted, figured out what I could reuse, what I don't want to reuse, and stuff that was damaged. I mean, some of the stuff I had to pound out with a sledgehammer, so there's no saving that. I mean, one of the pivot bolts for the lower control arm, I had to smash the hell out of that with a sledgehammer. Yeah, those threads are gone. Luckily, if you looked at the beginning of the last video, the first sequence of the last video, episode number 6, you'll see that I was working on the front section of the frame that I saved off of my parts truck, with the thing that I flipped upside down and started taking all that off. There's a lot of good condition parts on that frame, or there were. That frame's stripped now. That thing's going to the scrapyard. But lower control arms I saved, upper control arms I saved. The pivot bolts, aka the sun bolts, I saved those. Those are in good shape, so all I got to do is just slap all that together, grease it, good to go. I am weighing options right now on control arms. If I reuse the control arms that I got, obviously I'm going to put new ball joints in there. But I'm going to have to sandblast them as well. So, I mean, do I sandblast and then paint? It's cold outside. I don't want to paint it and then have the paint get crappy. So, these are all things I got to weigh. Which control arms I use, too, because I have control arms off of the red truck, the original ones, and I have the control arms off of the parts truck. So I've got to go through and figure out the best ones of each set of parts. And then recondition those. Sandblast, paint, put the new ball joint in, and then install on the truck. So that's where I'm at on those items on the list, is just figuring out what I got to reuse, what I don't have to reuse, what I can chuck. And then there's a bunch of bolts that are all specialized. I mean, long bolts with really long shoulders, dealer-only bolts. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to find some of these ridiculous bolts on, at the hardware store. So I made a list of parts that I sent off to the lady that I deal with over at the Nissan dealer. She's been absolutely fantastic over the years. I mean, I've been dealing with her for 10 years on all these project trucks. She helped get all the parts to help, recondition some of the greens, ailing parts. She's helped with my gray truck, which will never be on this channel because I don't own it anymore. She's helped with my Frontier, which is, I don't own that anymore. She has helped with red truck once before, and now she's helping with red truck again. So she's familiar with the projects, and I love her, and I am going to be sending her something for Christmas because she has just been absolutely fantastic and a good sport through all this, and giving me good pricing at the same time. So I'm just waiting for her to email me back on this list of hardware, just nuts and bolts, just stupid stuff like that. Let me know what's available, how many I gotta buy, because if I gotta buy 10 of one bolt just to get one bolt, I might have to come up with a different plan. But if I can buy onesie twosies of this stuff, obviously new hardware is the way to go. It's the safest way to go. I'm not gonna reuse something that's rusted if I don't have to. If I can replace it inexpensively enough. I mean, if she comes back and says all this hardware is gonna cost me $35, do it. Send it. I want it. If she comes back and says, yeah, all this hardware is going to be $130, trying to do things on a budget here. I mean, that whole red truck right there, I can honestly say now, after spending as much as I have on all the parts for the front of the truck, I have about $2,000 into that truck. That includes the purchase of that truck. So $2,000 into that truck, and I don't want to go over $3,000 because I really would like to do the $3,000 hoopty challenge at some point with the roadkill guys. That would be awesome. So I'm kind of keeping that in the back of my mind, that I don't want to go over $3,000 on this thing because then I don't qualify. So we'll come up with that. Green truck has obviously been put away for winter. It's under the covers. I just put some fuel stabilizer in it. I didn't do anything with the motor because the motor is just junk to me. I don't really care for that motor. It's not going to get any worse, obviously. The Chevy, I'm putting that away today. That's going to go sit on the side of the house. The Rallycross truck is sitting outside. Obviously, that's going to need a lot of work. That thing is more work than I ever anticipated. So don't roll your vehicles onto their roofs, people, because it's a lot of work. And the Pathfinder, I just put some stabilizer and however many drops of fuel are in it as well. So that's gonna sit for the winter. That's all the updates I got besides the new command center. So I hope you guys are enjoying the channel. I know a lot of you are. I'm getting a lot of good feedback on it, some thumbs up and whatnot. If you guys like what I've done here, just let me know in the comments section. I'm going to do another video probably in a week or so from here. I just want to get some material together so I actually have something to talk about. I'm just pulling stuff out of my hat right now. I'm always open to requests, comments, suggestions. If you guys are looking to, build a truck similar, or any truck similar to what I've been doing, I'm always happy to answer questions. You guys know that. So I want to thank you guys for watching, and thank you for stopping by the Nismo D21 Command Center. Thank you very much. You guys have a great Turkey Day. Take care now.